I have done it. I have finally done it. After 8 months of working on an Animal Crossing Pokemon themed island, I have completed it. My friend Jack said that I couldn't finish it. 8 months later, it's finished. I couldn't be happier. So let's tour it. The first thing is my map. I'll be honest, it's not a very pretty map. So we're going to ignore what the actual map looks like. It's a bit of a mess. But the main thing here is my villages. One thing I love so much about my villages is I tried to theme them so that they are all related to Pokemon in some way. We have Poppy, who is my shiny Squavit. We have Bruce, who is Xerneas. We have Sprinkle, who is my shiny Piplup. She is my pride and joy, my baby. I love her so dearly. Flo is a bit of an oddball. She doesn't really fit with the theme, but her house is perfect for one of the areas, and I'll be honest, I didn't want to speed through HHP. Static is my Toxtricity, Joey is my Psyduck, Roswell is my Sandile, Audie is my Delphox, Chester, he's my Oshawott. I couldn't have an island and not have my baby boy Oshawott on it, and it was that or Blue Bear, and Chester, he's kind of the closest option I was gonna get. And then Shep, who's my Graveyard. One of the things to note is that I didn't make my island based on a specific Pokemon region. I kind of did it based on all my favorite areas from various Pokemon games into one. So coming into the island, I wanted to make it really obvious that this was a Pokemon themed island. It was really important to have the entrance filled with as much stuff related to Pokemon as physically possible. I wanted to have a couple of Pokemon there to show that it's Pokemon. I really like the idea of the grass and the grass standee together, and I think the Pokemon grass really makes this island what it is, because without it, I just don't think it would be as good. Obviously, we have resident services and Shep with his little ice cream. Look at those toe beans. Immediately to your left, you come into Pallet Town and you are immediately greeted with Professor Oak's lab. I really like doing this. I wanted to get some red Pokeballs and then I found these pink ones. Coming through again, I got my house, which unfortunately is not decorated, but that's fine. And then we've got Route 1. It's weedy. You might run into some Pokemon. Like, look at this little dude. Coming through, this is one of my favorite areas of all time. And how fitting that Sprinkle, our shiny Piplup, is there right now. This is like Verity from the Diamond and Pearl or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl games. It was so simple to do, but my god, do I love it. I just love the fact that like a Pokemon fan could come in here, see the briefcase and the 3 Starlies, and immediately know what this is. Like, I just love it. Coming up, we've got a forest. It's not a particular forest in general. Again, it's just a mix of all the Pokemon forests. Again, I wanted to make it feel really overgrown. And my favorite touch here is we've got the Mossy Rock and Leafeon. So in a lot of the games, the way you evolve Eevee is by taking it to a Mossy Rock, and then it'll evolve into Leafeon. So I just thought that was a really cute touch. Then coming down here, this is Mount Moon. Again, every Pokemon game has some kind of like rocky area in it. So I put some Zubat, I put some Diglett, I put lots of caves. It's quite like busy, and again, I really like when Animal Crossing islands are busy. And yeah, Mount Moon, as you can see, by the moon on the top. Coming down from Mount Moon, you come into Floroma Town. Again, a very simple build, but I just really like it. Coming to the side, we have the Snorlax Bridge. Again, so simple. And like the little pan flute next to it, because you have to wake Snorlax up with the flute. I thought it was cute. When you come out of Pallet Town, you come through this like filler area. And then here, I love this bit. This section of my island, I think, is one of my favorite sections. This is the Pokemon Center. I got a little cardboard cutout Nurse Joy. I really like the idea of having a Pokemon Center, and then these castle walls just fit so perfectly with it. It's a little bit terrifying that she's faceless, but I think that's okay. Coming down, we have the campsite, which I wanted to be based off of the wild area in Sword and Shield. And then above us, we have the cycle path. And I really wanted to turn this whole bit into like, kind of like the cycle path. So we got Able Sisters here as like just a general shop. And then you come down, we've got the bike shop as well. One thing I really love in particular about the bike path is this middle bit. So I used some hats to make a pond and put some Magikarp and a little Piplup in there. Behind it, we have Theyre Town from, again, Sword and Shield. I wanted to add a couple more mushrooms, but I didn't want it to feel too clogged. It would be perfect at nighttime, because it would obviously be a lot more lit up, but I really wanted my dream address to be set during the day. I think as well with a lot of these areas, I haven't made them super accurate to the game. I haven't done them like 100%. I've done them, but with an Animal Crossing twist. Coming down from Theyre Town, we have one of my favorite areas, which is the Pokémon. I used reference pictures for stuff like this to get it as accurate as possible. And again, these walls just made it so easy to make. And there's so much blue stuff in this game, so I thought this was perfect. When it comes to my beaches, I filled a lot of them with chairs and boats because that's kind of how they are in Pokemon. They're very simple. Coming towards the back of the island, we have N's Castle. I didn't really know how to show that it was N's Castle rather than putting Reshiram and Zekrom. But that I think is something that I think works. I think it stands out. But other than that, there's not too much in his castle in the game. But N is like my favorite character in Pokemon, and Gen 5 is just my favorite generation in general. Now, this is my favorite town that I built. This is Lavender Town. I love the path. I love the hats that I found. Coming down, we've got a Cubone painting, obviously the Lavender Town sign. This is where I put Flo's house. So although she doesn't really work in terms of her character, like her house is perfect. And then moving this way, I've got the tower. Sadly, I did use a fossil to represent Marowak and Cubone, even though it's heartbreaking. I just thought it worked really well. Back down on the ground floor, here is a Pokemon Stadium. This is just in front of Lavender Town, but you can't actually get to it from Lavender Town. I was gonna add some Godzilla statues to make it seem like big Pokemon were fighting, but I decided against that in the end. I thought, in this case, simpler might have been better. You can tell what it is. At the end of most Pokemon games, you'll be greeted with Victory Road and the Elite Four. So I really wanted to incorporate that into this island. So I built Victory Road going into the Pokemon League. Looking back, I probably could have made Victory Road a little bit longer, but at this point I was kind of running out of space on this island. I wanted to make the Pokemon League look as majestic as possible, but also it still be functional and able to get around. So although I absolutely could have used my museum for Aubra City, I decided to turn it into the Pokemon League. I really like the idea of going for white and gold kind of theme for this because it just makes it look majestic. There's the museum. I think it works perfectly as a Pokemon League. Even though I've played Animal Crossing literally my entire life, this is only the second island I have ever completed in New Horizons. Even though it is absolutely not perfect in any way, I love it. Pokemon and Animal Crossing are both games very, very dear to my heart and my childhood, so I was like, what a perfect way to incorporate both of them. I'm really excited to get onto my next island as well, which is going to be an autumnal town core natural sort of island. I'll be live streaming it on twitch.tv/OllieKeyshow. My links are below. Thank you so much for watching.